A bond is selling for 850, that's our price, our PV. Has 8 years to maturity, annual coupon of 80, and the par value is 1,000. The first part of the question is what's the yield to maturity or YTM on this bond? So 850 is our price because that's the selling price for this bond. We have also 8 years to go. This is an annual bond, so we don't have to make any adjustments. And the bond face value is 1,000. We know that it pays $80 in interest or 8% interest on the coupon when the bonds first was issued. And we solve for rate, or we're trying to find the yield on this bond. We have 8 years. The payment is 80, our present value 50. We found that the yield is 10.90. What does it mean? If we buy a bond today for 850, hold it for the next 8 years until it matures, then all the coupon payments plus the face value of this bond, we would have earned about 10.9% per year return. Part B of this problem is asking what's the current yield on this bond. We know that the current yield is just the payment or the interest payment, the coupon payment that's fixed over the price of this bond. So if we know that the payment is 80 and the price is 850, so we can put this as a negative number if we want. So we get rid of the negative. We find that the current yield for this bond is 10.91%. So this is the current yield. So current yield is this one. The yield to maturity for this bond is the 1090 that we just found. And then what's the capital gains yield? And capital gains yield is just the difference between the current and the yield to maturity. So we do this minus this, and that's the capital gains yield. In other words, what we find is the current yield equals the plus the capital gains yield equals the yield to maturity. In our case, if we add this plus this, we find the 1090 of our yield to maturity, meaning we can make our money when buying a bond from the interest, collecting interest, or for changes in the price of this bond. And that's how we can separate the yield to maturity into its two components.